Johannesburg, the financial heart of South Africa. A city wired into modern infrastructure running on tight schedules and constant electricity. But in July 2019, it glitched. Not just a blackout, something deeper, a digital infection. City Power, the backbone of electricity in Joburg, was hit by ransomware. Customers couldn't buy power, engineers were locked out. Whole neighborhoods lost electricity. But here's the part that barely made headlines. The real reason this happened? It might have been sitting in their system for years, untouched, unpatched, waiting. This is the story of how one of Africa's most important cities was blindsided by hackers, and how it all could have been prevented. It started on July 25, 2019. City Power issued a brief statement. A virus had infected their IT systems. But that virus was ransomware, malicious code that locks up systems, encrypts files, and demands payment to unlock them. City Power's internal systems were, well, completely frozen. Prepaid electricity customers couldn't load credits, technicians couldn't access repair logs or infrastructure maps, even email servers were down. And this wasn't just one department, it was across the board. The company scrambled to restore services manually. But how did this even happen? Cybersecurity experts believe the attackers got in through City Power's ERP system, specifically a version of SAP NetWeaver. ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning, basically the brain of a company's operations. Finances, HR, supply chains, even utility dispatch, all centralized in one massive piece of software. But here's the issue. SAP systems are powerful but complicated. Updates are risky. So many organizations, especially public ones, delay critical patches. This specific SAP vulnerability had been publicly disclosed in 2018. It allowed remote attackers to send commands to the server without authentication. If that sounds bad, it is. And experts had been warning about it for over a year. So if City Power was still running on outdated SAP infrastructure, that's a digital backdoor, wide open. The effects were immediate. Tens of thousands of customers couldn't top up prepaid electricity, small businesses went dark, backup systems couldn't sync because the back-end servers were down. The IT team tried to downplay it, saying critical systems weren't affected, but leaked internal reports suggest otherwise. There were no backups. Recovery had to be done manually. City Power was flying blind. The city dodged total disaster. No grid failure, no lasting shutdown. But the fact that an unpatched vulnerability could disrupt power access for an entire city, that's the terrifying part. This was infrastructure-level ransomware, a city's lifeblood, electricity, held hostage. So who was behind the attack? That's still unknown. No group ever claimed responsibility, no ransom demand was made public, and City Power never confirmed if they paid. Was it a criminal syndicate? A state-sponsored test run? A lone actor? There's no smoking gun, but the silence suggests something deeper. Experts say it likely wasn't a targeted political attack, more like an opportunistic breach, an automated scan that found a weak link and pulled the trigger. But that doesn't make it less dangerous. It means anyone could have done it. After a few days, services were restored. City Power thanked its staff. No formal apology, no deep dive report, no long-term cybersecurity roadmap released to the public. But here's what we do know. SAP pushed updates for the vulnerability long before the attack. City Power wasn't alone. Many utilities globally were running outdated ERP systems. And since the breach, other cities have faced similar ransomware hits. Baltimore, Atlanta, Tulsa. This wasn't an isolated incident, it was part of a growing pattern. In 2019, the lights came back on, but the threat didn't disappear. City Power's hack was a warning shot. A reminder that infrastructure isn't just steel and cables anymore. It's software, servers, code. And when those systems break, people don't just lose data, they lose power, they lose heat, they lose control. Every city is now a digital city, and that means every city is now a target.